stocks surged on Tuesday afternoon, rallying in a broad advance as comments by Chinese President Xi Jinping suggested a less aggressive stance with respect to trade, which helped to ease concerns about an escalating conflict between the two largest economies. What did the main benchmarks do? The Dow Jones Industrial Average plus 1.80% jumped 364 points, or 1.5%, to 24,343. The S&P 500 SPX, plus 1.62% was up 41 points, or 1.6%, to 2,654. The Nasdaq Composite Index Comp, plus 1.81% climbed 115 points to 7,065, a gain of 1.7%. The day's gains were broad, with all 28 of the 30 Dow components higher on the day, along with 9 of the 11 S&P 500 sectors. Energy was by far the biggest gainer, up 3.5%, while tech shares jumped nearly 2%. Despite recent volatility, equities have largely trended to the upside. Major indexes are poised for their fifth positive session of the past 6. U.S. stocks closed higher on Monday, but they ended well off their highs of the session, with the rally deflating on the news of the FBI raid. The S&P 500, by one metric, suffered its worst final hour of trading in more than 6 years. Need to know, curbing our enthusiasm, Big Bank takes a knife to its S&P 500 target. What's driving markets? A global equity rally was triggered as Chinese President Xi told the Boao Forum that Beijing plans to give foreign companies greater access to financial and manufacturing sectors. He also talked about a cut in tariffs on car imports and an improvement in protection of intellectual property, among other measures. While many of the measures had been previously touted by Xi, investors cheered the lack of any escalation in rhetoric. Check out, the stock market is cheering what China's Xi didn't say on trade. Trade optimism could, for now, help the market shake off the FBI's seizure of records held by Michael Cohen, a personal lawyer for Trump. The records are related to a $130,000 payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels, who alleges she had a brief affair with the president. Trump dismissed the raid as a witch hunt. Read, here's what FBI raid on Trump lawyer's office means for the stock market elsewhere. The U.S. is preparing for a possible military strike against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad over a suspected chemical weapons attack that killed civilians. What are strategists saying? It was a short-term surprise to the risk markets that Xi put out a positive comment saying he's open to trade negotiations and relaxing trade restrictions. This is going to be an ongoing issue for months, but for today it's a shot of adrenaline, said Chad Morganlander, Senior Portfolio Manager at Washington Crossing Advisors. Speaking about the FBI raid, Morganlander said investors shouldn't focus entirely on it, as earnings and growth trends will be more important, but these kinds of issues continue to be a cloud of uncertainty that need to be monitored. Opinion: these two trading patterns could trigger the long-awaited stock market melt-up. What data are in focus? The National Federation of Independent Businesses Index of Small Business Optimism fell to 104.7 in March. U.S. wholesale prices accelerated in March, showing a 0.3% increase despite lower energy costs, suggesting inflationary pressures in the U.S. have become more widespread. Read, the economy is fine now, but watch out for 2020, top economist says. Which stocks could be active? Facebook Incorporated, FB, plus 2.41%. shares rose 1.3%. Mark Zuckerberg, chief executive officer of the social media website, is scheduled to testify in a joint hearing held by two Senate committees at 2 p.m. Eastern. He will discuss his company's handling of a privacy controversy involving Cambridge Analytica, which contributed to the stock dropping into bear market territory, or 20% from a recent peak. See, Dow surges, defying a bearish sell signal. Here's a theory as to why energy stocks rose broadly, helped by a 3% gain in the price of crude oil. ExxonMobil Corporation SIM, plus 3.56%, added 3.5% in what was on track to be its biggest one-day jump since September 2016, while Chevron Corporation CVX, plus 3.04%, rose 2.9%. Largest exchange-traded fund to track the energy sector, the Energy Select Sector SPDR ETF XLE, plus 3.85%, was on pace for its best session since November 2016. Shares of Vera F1 Systems Incorporated, PAY, plus 51.57% surged 52% after the payment and business services provider said it has agreed to a $3.4 billion private equity acquisition by a group led by Francisco Partners. The deal is worth $23.04 a share in cash, a premium of 54% on Verifone's closing price Monday of $15. Tenneco Incorporated, 10, plus 5.08% said it planned on buying Federal Mogul, a manufacturer of parts for cars in the aerospace industry, from Icon Enterprises LP. IAP, plus 2.90% in a deal valued at $5.4 billion. Shares of Tenneco rose 5.6% while those for Icon Enterprises were up 2.9%. Energis Corporation, Watt, plus 9.85% rallied 10% after the developer of wire-free charging technology said the Federal Communications Commission has approved its near-field transmitter Watt up. Tupperware Brands Corporation top, minus 11.09% fell 11% after the plastic container maker lowered its first quarter earnings guidance. Shares of Sprand Corporation, S, plus 18.97% surged 18%, enough to trigger a trading halt for volatility, after the Wall Street Journal reported that the telecommunications company had restarted merger talks with T-Mobile US, MS, plus 6.35% about 5 months after previous deal talks were abandoned. Read, here are the changes Facebook has announced ahead of Zuckerberg testimony. What are other markets doing? Asian stocks got a lift after the Chinese president's speech, with Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index HSI, plus 1.65% HSI, plus 1.65% rising 1.5%. European stocks SXXP, plus 0.83% hit multi-week highs as a global equity rally took hold. Gold futures GCM8, plus 0.21% or steady at $1,341.50 an ounce. The ICE US Dollar Index DXY, minus 0.19% inch 0.2% lower to 89.676. Oil prices CLK8, plus 3.15% surged 2.9% to $65.28 a barrel, climbing as trade war tensions lifted. Barbara Kallmeyer contributed to this article.